Let me just say that Detroit Lions might be one of the most pathetic teams that I've ever seen the Eagles play. I don't think that I've seen a blowout this big by the Eagles since I think 1 year against the Falcons. We defeated them without when they didn't have Matt Ryan, 44-6, which was a game against the Cowboys. That game comes to mind. I think a game the Eagles played against the Cowboys on Halloween 1 year. I think it was 2011. That was a pretty big blowout. But I haven't seen a blowout like this by the Philadelphia Eagles. Actually, maybe that Raiders game, but they still scored a lot of points. I um I don't know what happened there with Detroit. I don't know what's going on with Detroit. I don't watch any of Detroit's games. It feels like they play close games against good teams. Sometimes really good teams play down to super inferior opponents. And then when they play against really bad teams, or not really bad teams, but kind of bad teams, below average teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, then that's one of those situations where they really start showing how bad that they are. But, the Lions, they had no response for Josh Sweat. They had no response for Milton Williams. They had no response for the Eagles' defensive line. And really, when you're showing pressure like the Eagles did at some points, the secondary will start to look better. That is something that I really like that the Philadelphia Eagles did in this game. The I hate that I even have to bring this up. I don't know if people can find, people can go ahead and find comments that I made back in 2019 about Jordan Howard, about how I felt like the Eagles needed to use Jordan Howard more. And for the love of God, I don't know what's going on with this organization. I have no idea. Like, Jordan Howard had a really great stretch of games from the beginning of the 2019 season all the way to that Chicago Bears game where he got that stinger. And by the way, that was a stinger. I know that Eagles said, "Oh, the medical staff, they suck so bad. They don't know how to diagnose a stinger." A stinger could put you out for anywhere between a play and over a year, because a stinger is nerve damage is what it is. And at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know why the Eagles haven't been using this guy, because they had him on the team at the end of the season, and he was playing, or he was on the roster. And then last year he was on the roster at certain periods of time, the second half of the season, and they didn't use him. Jordan Howard has literally been sitting on the practice squad all season long. For 7 games, this guy has been sitting on the practice squad. Do they not see that this guy does well in practice or anything like that? This man had 4 or 5 yards of carry on every single carry. Like, are you serious with that? Like, I don't know what's going on in whoever controls this team's brain, but Jordan Howard needs to get the ball. This guy is a workhorse. Like, he is the Eagles' version of Ezekiel Elliott. This guy is a workhorse. This guy got 4. And look, I know that the Lions are pathetic. I know that the Lions stink. I hope they win a game this season, but I don't know if that's going to happen after the way the Eagles just throttled them. But Jordan Howard needs to see the ball more. And with the fact that Miles Sanders is injured, and with the fact that Kenneth Gainwell is obviously a third down back, and Boston Scott, he should not be a starter, but he played well. He's kind of like a Darren Sproles kind of guy. We need to see him more. This guy is a pile pusher. He's a ground and pounder. This is the first game where the Eagles decided we are going to emphasize the running game, and Jalen Hurts is going to game manage. That is where he is best. He is not best when he's trying to throw the ball 40, 50 times a game. He's just not. And I'm gonna talk about Jalen Hurts a little bit later, but you catch my drift. Like, this team needs to be geared towards the running game. They need to be geared towards the running game. They need to be geared towards Dallas Goedert. That's how they need to be. They need to be geared towards ways in which the offensive line is pushing the pile, helping in the running game. And Eagles fans have been calling for this all season long, and we finally got it. We finally got it, people. And Jordan Howard had an amazing game. Boston Scott had an amazing game. Jalen Hurts had a great game running the football. And of course, like I said, I'm going to talk about Jalen Hurts later. Big hurts for the team. Jalen Reagor got injured. I don't know what's wrong with him. It didn't seem like it was that bad when he was running in for the touchdown, but he's injured. He didn't come back. He was carted off the field. That's not a good sign. And seeing as how we didn't really get a passing game going, we'll see what happens as time goes by. I know that a lot of people are labeling Reagor a bust, but we'll see. He had an amazing catch. That touchdown catch he had against the Raiders was pretty amazing. But this is one of those games where when it comes to this whole recap thing, I don't really have anything very much negative to say, because when you're going up against a team and you beat them 44-6, like, what negative stuff do you really have to say? Like, especially in this recap video, I the coaching was really good. Like, the really good coaching. I don't have anything negative to say about the coaching. We didn't turn the ball over. The other team turned the ball over once, and we scored a touchdown off of it. I don't really have anything negative to say here, other than what I'm going to talk about later on in the video. But it seems like this is one of those games where I'm not really going to celebrate that much. Like, I am happy we won, because I'm always happy when the team wins. But at the end of the day, like, the Lions are a really bad team. Like, we took care of our business. We won a game. I don't really expect to win very many games, but, coming off of 2 weeks where, the Eagles let Tom Brady do whatever he wanted to do, basically, and Derek Carr do whatever he wanted to do, basically. Seeing this is the outcome, it feels really good. I'd say outside of what I'm going to talk about in the middle of this video, or in the middle of this podcast, the one thing that I think is not so good about the Eagles is their pass defense. And the fact, and maybe I alluded to this in that Raiders video, the post-game video, but the fact that the Eagles really aren't one of those teams that they're going to let things, the corners at least, they're going to let things play in front of them, and they're going to stop the deep pass. And that's one of those things where if you look at the statistics at certain points in the game, I think Jared Goff was like 20 for 25. He was completing the passes, but he was completing the short ones. And it seems like that is what the Eagles are planning on doing when it comes to the defensive backfield. And I would like to see these defensive backs get super physical with these receivers, because Stevie Nelson and Darius Slate, these guys are cornerbacks who are physical cornerbacks. These are man-to-man physical cornerbacks, and they're really not being used in the correct way. But I really did like the fact that the defense got aggressive. They blitzed, like 4 or 5 sacks on Jared Goff. We got to see a little bit of Minshew mania in the game, obviously, because we were up 44-6. But otherwise, I don't really have anything negative to say about this game.